What if the Batman the Animated Series never ended? What if it continued onward with more seasons, more arcs, and wrapped in the Batman mythos? That is Batman the Adventure Continues, and we're going to cover it right here at Comicstorian. This is where we take your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. At this channel, we take your favorite storylines and give you a synopsis of what is happening within the world of comic books. We allow you to keep up, and if you ever want to know how to get to the last episode in a series, click the link down below, and if you ever want to know how to get to the next episode in a series, also a link down below, or go to your local comic book store, or purchase them digitally online. So Batman the Adventure Continues is the continuation of the Batman the Animated Series, but allowing them to bring in different things within the Batman mythos. And our first arc today is issues 1 and 2, the Superman and Lex Luthor arc. If you want to keep up to date as to when we put out our videos right here at the Comicstorian channel, make sure you click that bell right beneath you there and turn on notifications as we bring you comic book related content 2 to 5 times a week right here at this channel. Alright, let's get into the storyline. Batman leaps through the moonlit night, swinging through the air, descending upon Bane. But as the villain tries to fight, he suddenly drops to the ground, unconscious. Batman reaches down and picks up the dart of the sedative that hit Bane 30 minutes ago, promising to use a higher dose next time. He suddenly is distracted as he turns to see a massive robot terrorizing the citizens of Gotham City. So he leaps after the giant robot, following it through the city on his grappling hook, and from the shadows, a strange man watches him. I forgot how much fun Gotham could be. Meanwhile, the robot breaks through the wall of Wayne Enterprises, opening fire on the nearby scientists, scattering them. It reaches down for a strange vault that has been plugged into the computer, but Batman leaps through the hole in the wall, confronting the robot. Put it back, he orders the machine, and the robot regards him for a moment before opening fire. But with Batman distracted, the robot punches through the wall and exits. Batman follows, throwing more batarangs, but the robot kicks a truck at him, leaping into the air, flying away. Round 1, Batman thinks to himself. It's the next night that finds Bruce still trying to track the robot's flight pattern. He explains to Alfred that the robot had no visible means of propulsion that he could track. Alfred nods as he holds up a suit for Bruce to wear to tonight's gala. But the vigilante refuses, wishing to focus on his work, and Alfred just smiles. But I haven't told you about the surprise guest. It is later that we find Bruce standing on a decorated rooftop, trying to once again thwart the advances of Veronica Virlin. Luckily, the pair are interrupted by Lex Luthor, who walks over and explains to Veronica that she is wasting her time with Bruce Wayne. He smiles at her, wishing to have a moment alone with Bruce. So the two talk for a moment, with Bruce commenting that Lex normally informs him when he's going to be in town. And the billionaire explains that he is merely there for a few days, says he doesn't like the city after the last time of dealing with the Joker and Batman. Lex smiles, pointing out that he heard Batman wasn't very effective last night. Bruce nods, asking if he could have the number for Superman in case the city needs help. Wouldn't help. He hasn't been around lately. Lex tells him, and the two chat for a few more minutes before Lex finally walks away. So later that night, Batman sits at the Bat computer and once again tries to call Clark, and he gets no answer. He puts on his cowl, promising Alfred that if Superman had heard the news, he would have already arrived to help. He stalks towards the Batmobile, having a good idea of where the robot might be hiding. And later, he finds the Claremont Airfield, a secluded spot that is popular with the criminal element. The first guard is taken out easily and Batman slips inside. In the large hangar, he discovers the giant robot sitting quietly, and he moves forward into the shadows, planting a scanner on it and radioing back to Alfred. We should take a picture momentarily, sir. What about the vault? Alfred asks, and Batman finds it nearby, commenting that he has almost cracked it. But an energy blast hits him from behind, and Batman is thrown away. Lex stalks forward in his new power armor, grabbing Batman by the throat, lifting him into the air. Of all the gin joints in the world, Batman, why do you keep walking into mine? Lex smiles, promising Batman that Superman won't save him this time. The vault suddenly ticks as the code is broken and it slides open, revealing the head of Brainiac. Hear that? It's the sound of the future, Batman. He continues to crush Batman's windpipe as the Dark Knight tries to explain that Wayne's people already went over Brainiac's head. They found it to be wiped clean. That Brainiac has uploaded his mind somewhere else, but Lex backhands him, pulling Batman close and explaining that even if there are fragments of Brainiac's mind within the head, I can rebuild him. He tightens his grip more, about to squeeze the life out of Batman. But Batman throws a batarang knowing that when he went over the Brainiac head, there were still some functions left in it, but no intelligence. The batarang hits the right spot in the head's nerve center and the eyes begin to open up. Energy beams shooting out, slamming into Lex. They knock him through the hangar wall and into the nearby plane. Now freed, Batman quickly escapes into the night. Round 2, he thinks to himself. Back at the Batcave, Batman tells Alfred to hurry as his faithful friend bandages the man's ribs. I've got to get back out there. Alfred expresses his concerns about Bruce's well-being, but the Dark Knight hits a switch and his power armor comes out of the ground. Don't worry. This time, I'm bringing protection. What if he uses the large robot? You said it's indestructible, Alfred reminds him. And he motions to the schematics on the screen, pointing out that the robot is so big that it has room for a co-pilot. But Batman stares at the layout for a moment and then his eyes widen. That's no cockpit. That's a battery. He suddenly realizes. Donning his armor, he quickly flies back to the airfield where he discovers that Lex has already left. High over the county, Lex is ordering Mercy to hurry, as they are 5 minutes away from Metropolis. You don't know him. He's relentless. He snaps as they hear a thud on the outside of the plane. They look out front to see Batman hanging onto it, but Lex flies out the door, slamming into Batman and throwing him out of the plane. As Batman turns, he punches Luthor hard, throwing him away. Weakened by Brainiac's blast, Lex quickly retreats to the plane, jumping into the giant robot's cockpit. As Mercy jumps clear, Lex explodes out of the plane, launching himself at Batman. There's no way you'll escape, Batman! He shouts, but Batman turns, hitting him with a kryptonite blast that electrifies the suit. Suddenly, a blast of heat vision erupts out of the robot's chest. Superman breaking free. Bellowing in rage, he quickly scoops up Lex and Mercy, flying them away to prison. When he returns, he finds Batman among the plane's wreckage. How'd you know I was in the robot? The Man of Steel asks. And Batman explains that it made sense when he saw the schematics and figured out that Lex had turned him into a solar battery. Batman reaches down for the head of Brainiac, handing it to the Man of Steel. Just get rid of this thing. Maybe just toss it into the sun. It's Madman candy, he tells his friend, and Superman nods, waving, flying away with a smile. Really is a Boy Scout, Batman thinks to himself. Meanwhile, the mysterious man walks through the streets of Gotham, finally arriving at the spot in Crime Alley. This is where it all began, and a man yells at him from an upstairs window, threatening to call the cops on the guy loitering. The man pulls out a pistol from beneath his jacket. Start dialing, tough guy! Let's see how far you get! The mysterious man shouts. The man on the window runs in fear, and the mysterious man replaces his pistol, walking away into the night, the bat signal shining into the darkness above. And there you have it, the first story of the continuation of Batman, the animated series, right here at Comicstorian. Now, if you want to catch the next part of this, make sure you click that bell and turn on your notifications. Also, if you did enjoy our format here of telling you the stories of your favorite comic books, allowing you to keep up with them, then please consider hitting that like button and smashing that subscribe button. Also, last thing, this is a voted on video by our Patreons. They said, we want Batman the Animated Series. We want the full season right here on the Comicstorian channel. Benny, can you release it? So if you want to join the vote for the next series, go on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and I'll see you next time right here